And you know what? You don't have to be Catholic to call in. There are a lot of folks that are not Catholic that absolutely love the Virgin of Guadalupe, Our Lady of Guadalupe. So please don't sit this out. You are a part of the family. We'd love to hear from you. Now, there's a couple ways you can do it. We've got Matt Gabinski on the phones. All you have to do is dial 833-288 EWTN. That's 833-288 3986, and you can speak to Matt and you'll be on air and you can share what you know about the image on the Tilma, something maybe you learned this year. You know, we're coming up almost on 500 years since the apparition. In just a few short years, it's going to be 500 years. That's amazing. 1531 is when Our Lady appeared to St. Juan Diego at Tepeyac Hill. And so I want to know what you know about St. Juan Diego. I happen to belong to the parish named St. Juan Diego. So I know quite a bit because it's our patron of the parish. So I'd love to hear from you. You can call in, speak to Matt, and really honor Our Lady on this wonderful, incredible feast day. Or you can comment on social media. I'm waving to you guys on YouTube and Facebook. Share this program, please. And you've got Rich there who's going to retrieve the comments. Michael McCall is on the controls. He's our wonderful producer, and he will be making sure everybody's comments or questions come in to me where I can read it, and then I will share it along with what you have to say by way of your phone calls. So you could go to Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. You can leave your comments there. You can always email us take2@ewtn.com. And please, let's go big for Our Lady on this wonderful feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Do you have the image? Do you have the actual image that's on the Tilma, a reprint of it? Do you have one? I have one. You can, if you're on social media, you can see it over my right shoulder. My right shoulder, you can see the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. It's a blessed image. Always have your images blessed, I believe. So I just feel very, very comforted that she is with me during every single broadcast. I love that. And it is a very powerful image. And I've heard that there's been many miracles associated with having an image, a holy card of Our Lady of Guadalupe, having it blessed. So let's talk about that as well. If you've had a miracle and you want to thank Our Lady, please, this is the time to do it. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. Okay, I want you to share what you know about the Tilma, the image on the Tilma, St. Juan Diego. Here's a couple things that I wanted to share with you that I learned just a couple years ago. I've always seen it in movies and docudramas and documentaries that Juan Diego was a young boy. No, that's not true. He was in his 50s. He was in his 50s when Our Lady appeared to him. So that's the first bit of information I wanted to share with our Take Two family. The second is did you guys realize that after her appearance to St. Juan Diego, and did you realize all the conversions that happened? 3,000 a day for like 7 years. That's like 9 million, 10 million conversions. That's like unbelievable. Think about that for a second. 3,000 a day after Our Lady appeared at Tepeyac Hill in 1531. Pretty incredible. She really came and she really made an impact. And that's so amazing. And there's so many very cool things about the image itself that have been inspected and really looked at. That is just it's unbelievable. Well, it's unbelievable. It's supernatural. It's amazing. And so I want to talk about that because I think we're in a day and time when the world is telling us don't believe in these things. This is not going to, give you a happy life or whatever. And the world is telling us very in a loud fashion to disregard these incredible moments in history. And that's a shame. It really is. We need to bring it back. And the only way we're going to do that is if we get louder, if we use this platform wisely. And people are listening. Believe me, there are thousands and thousands listening in the privacy of their cars, their homes, behind prison walls, in hospital rooms. I mean, we're reaching people through the radio, and that's a good thing. And I think the Lord is using the radio to reach each and every one of his children. It's God's megaphone. I've always said that. And I really believe that we have this opportunity on Take Two to come together and really share and shout to the world how much we love Our Lady. Let's do it, guys. Fill the rest of those phone lines. Okay, if you feel prompted by the Spirit, we believe it's the Holy Spirit. That means it's your opportunity to call in and to share about Our Lady during this wonderful feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Let's go big. 833-288-EWTN. Again, that's 833-288-3986. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the Tilma, about St. Juan Diego, about the apparition itself, about what maybe how your family has always embraced Our Lady of Guadalupe. You know, you may have a very deep devotion in your family. I'd love to hear all about it. So let's really make this broadcast shine all the way up to heaven. Okay, I really mean that. I think we've got to go big. Okay, and I know that the Take Two family believes in it as well, because that's why you've been sticking with us for 9.5 years. So when I come back, I'm going to get to Cindy. Cindy's going to be first from Louisiana. Cindy, you got to hold on just a couple minutes, because you hear that beautiful music. That's our theme music for this wonderful show. And when I come back after a couple announcements, we'll get to Cindy and the others. I'd like you to join the conversation. What do you know about the Tilma? What do you know about St. Juan Diego? Call in 833-288-3986.
Hi, this is Father Mike Schmitz. Please join me for Ascension's Bible in a Year and Catechism in a Year here on EWTN Radio. We're going through the entire Bible and the Catechism in 365 days. If you've ever wanted to understand what it means to be Catholic and allow those truths to shape your life, this is for you.
Bible in a Year and Catechism in a Year with Father Mike Schmitz, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on EWTN Radio.
It's time for another EWTN Real News Minute.
The year 787 A.D. Decades of confusion and unrest pertaining to the veneration of holy images have now reached a breaking point. Some Christian faithful have been accused of confusing material images with God Himself and revering them in a way that only God deserves. Roman authorities respond unjustly by prohibiting the veneration of all holy images and ordering their destruction. To quiet the rising storm of iconoclasm once and for all, Pope Adrian I convenes the Second Council of Nicaea. The Council Fathers call for the restoration of holy images. The Council reinforces the distinction between the worship of God and the veneration of created beings, such as the Blessed Virgin Mary, the angels, and the saints.
Okay, we're talking about the image on the Tilma, St. Juan Diego, on this wonderful feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. We had one person just drop, so that means there's room for you. That's right. There's room for you. You're thinking to yourself, should I maybe call? Yep, call right now. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. We'll get to Cindy just a second. Cindy, hold on for another 20 seconds. I just wanted to share with our listeners St. Paul on the Power of the Cross by Father Mitch Pacwa. In St. Paul on the Power of the Cross, Father Mitch unpacks the letters of St. Paul in an energizing study for individuals or groups. Discover a central theme of St. Paul's teachings and writings, the role of the cross of Jesus Christ for the salvation of souls. And it's so, wow. And discover how the writings of this pillar of the church can draw you closer to Christ crucified. St. Paul on the Power of the Cross by Father Mitch Pacwa is available right now by Catholic. Shop EWTNRC.com. guys, you got to get that. As I was reading it, I'm thinking, okay, this is powerful. It's for individuals and groups. Please, we need to understand the writings of St. Paul now more than ever. And Father Mitch Pacwa is the one to lead us in that study. So please pick it up at EWTNRC.com. Cindy, you're first up here on the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe, calling in from the great state of Louisiana on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Cindy. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for calling. Go right ahead.
Okay. After almost 500 years, there's always new discoveries with the Tilma. And lately I heard that they found a heartbeat on the Tilma. Is that true?
I have heard the same thing. I haven't been able to verify if that's accurate, but I've heard the same thing. There's been where they put a stethoscope up to I have heard that the image is very much alive. So that would make sense that there would be, but sometimes these things, I will tell you, sometimes these things circulate. And and we're not quite sure if it's completely accurate. But let me share this with you, which may add to what you're sharing. In the 1700s, they tried to pour acid on the image, right? And it ended up restoring itself. Okay, so that's where I believe they have felt like it's alive, because the supernatural way of it restoring itself after acid was poured on it. I mean, there's been attempts to destroy this image, and it has been protected. And there's such a unique sense of it by the way it's constructed, that it wasn't done by normal, a normal painting or anything like that. Even the colors are not even that normal for that type of drawing at that time. All the elements of the image itself appear to be the evidence of something that is absolutely supernatural and living. Because it's not, what I'm saying? So it wouldn't surprise me, Cindy, if we do verify that it is, there was sounds or heartbeat or something of that nature. Now, the Blessed Mother is pregnant in the image, right? So she's pregnant. And it just wouldn't surprise me, because if you look at Eucharistic miracles, there's been evidence to prove that on multiple accounts there have been miracles where it has been pulsating or alive. So, but to me that would make sense. But to answer your question, I have not been able to verify it. If anyone else, if there's a priest or a bishop listening, or anyone else who's done a deep study into the Our Lady of Guadalupe, please call in and tell us if we're right or wrong on this. But what do you think about just the elements of how unique it is, Cindy? The image.
Oh, it's amazing, and I've made Cursillo, so that's our patron. Our Lady of Guadalupe is one of our patrons. Her and she and St. Paul. So we did a lot of research in it, and it's just amazing, all the miracles and just all the stuff from the Tilma. The significance of every part of it. Oh, it's amazing.
Well, yeah, the image in her eyes, because her eyes are tell a story. The stars. I mean, the fact that she came with child, which is of course Jesus. I mean, there's just, and then the fact that it has stayed preserved for almost 500 years. I mean, when for many, many years it was exposed to the elements where people were touching it. And you would think that the fibers of the Tilma, which are like cactus fibers, plant fibers, those would have actually disintegrated, but it didn't. So we know how incredible this image is in Our Lady's appearance. Well, we know the effects of it. 3,000 conversions a day for over 7 years. I mean, pretty incredible. Cindy, I love that you love her, and I love that you were first up. You just have to imagine you put a big smile on Our Lady's face today. So thank you so very much.
So much, and have a blessed Advent and a happy Our Lady Guadalupe Day.
Thank you to you as well. God bless you. Okay, Maria is up next from Maryland on Guadalupe Radio Network, talking about the Tilma, St. Juan Diego, Our Lady of Guadalupe. Take it away, Maria.
Hi.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yes. Hi. I just wanted to share that at two stillbirths in 1991 and 1996, there were boys. I carried them through term. It was the most difficult situations of my life, Jacob and Gabriel. 2 years after, in 1998, I was about to adopt, but I became pregnant with with a baby, and it was very scary. I actually wanted to die. I didn't want to experience, losing another baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go to a doctor's for 6 months. I went to a doctor, Dr. Buchowski. I told him I didn't want any sonograms, nothing. I just wanted to be like a country woman without all these tests. I had a dream with this woman that was dark skinned. I didn't know about her, although I'm South American Colombian. And I learned through my priest that I was a lady. And a pilgrimage came up with the Capuchin priest, Father Christopher, and it was to go visit Our Lady. I went with my mom. People in the pilgrimage were very, very wonderful to me. We made it to the Tepeyac where Our Lady appeared. There's nuns that live there.
Mm-hmm.
And Father Christopher, because he always did whatever, so he knocked, and the nuns were like, "You're here again," and he's like, "Yeah." So when we did the offering at Mass, he asked me to say my prayer. Why did I go there? And I was a little shy, and I said, "Oh, I pray for everybody, this and that." And he says, "Maria, why did you come here?" Of course, I prayed. I prayed for my baby.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. I just surrendered to God's will. And many people went on their knees, to offer prayers for me because I couldn't do it. And I had little notes here and there from them. I came back. Dr. Bruchowski said, "Maria, this baby doesn't seem to have the problems that Jacob and Gabriel had. I want you to have this other specialist." And I was like, no, I don't want him to tell me anything. And it was the same doctor that had told me to get rid of my babies before, but he happened to be one of the best ones. So he did the sonogram, and he says, "Maria, I have to tell you, the little girl." And, it was beautiful. This little girl, I had so many showers. I had a mass shower. It was just beautiful. She's now 26.
Oh, can you tell us her name?
Her name is Miriam.
Miriam, beautiful. And she's 26 years old. Wow.
Yes, and she prayed for another baby, and we didn't know. And she had drawn the baby with another girl, and I said, "Mom, we can't." And it was another little girl. She's 20 now.
Wow. Boy, you have an incredible journey with Our Lady.
Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. I visited all the areas in Mexico, and she's the patron of the unborn, and the story is there. So many historic things, and yes, beautiful when you go look at her. I couldn't stop going around and around.
Yeah.
And surrender.
Beautiful.
But it was so. Yes.
Well, you paid her great honor today by sharing with the world how she interceded and helped in your life and continues to walk with you. I just love it. Thank you so very much. Your heart is just shining right through the radio. So thank you for gracing this conversation today on the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Yes. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you, Maria. Have a beautiful rest of your Advent. Wow, that was a powerful call. And I wanted to go back to Cindy's call at the beginning. This is so amazing how the Take Two family works, and I knew this was going to happen. So, Cindy, if you're listening, and Maria, we have Timoteo from Findlay, Ohio, just weighed in, and he shared a Church Pop article that they have found hidden music in the image of the Tilma. So I guess it's it's being able to share this beautiful melody that's hidden within the tilma. So a lot of our Take Two family is weighing in on this. I'm sure you're probably doing the research to see if we can verify if indeed there is a heartbeat that was associated with the tilma. So you see how the Take Two family works. So I just sent it over to Michael, our producer. So Michael will put it up after the show on Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. So he'll give me a thumbs up, let me know when it's on Jerry and Debbie Facebook page so you can read the Church Pop articles. There's a couple other Church Pop articles of the 5 surprising facts and interesting details about the tilma, and we can get those on Jerry and Debbie Facebook page as well. So just know that we're working really quickly to try to give as much information during this wonderful feast day. Let's say hi to Carol from Massachusetts on the Station of the Cross. Hi, Carol. Welcome to the program.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I was just calling to say that around 2012, I found a statue of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and I wasn't really too familiar with her, but, I'm very Catholic. And so anyway, I brought her home, and I decorated it, and now there's a man that stops whenever he goes by my house, and he stops and he prays in front of my statue. And he's very nice. I never met him before. And at nighttime, the street lights shine on my statue, so it's like she's glowing all night long.
Wow. Did you have her blessed? Have you had a priest to bless her?
No, I haven't. It's kind of, I probably have to come down to my house and do it, but my neighbor on my other side gave me a smaller statue, and so maybe I can bring that one to him.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And she has a light on her, so it's like she's shining the whole night. I love that.
Yeah, it's the street lights shining right on her. It's like so beautiful.
Wow. And then you've got your neighbor that prays in front. See, that's what's so beautiful. I love that. I love that Our Lady draws us all towards her so that she can point to her son. I think that is just incredible. Wow, what a great story. And you just happened to stumble on that statue, and you said, you're Catholic, so you just would pick it up, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. So it's safe to say that Our Lady found you.
Oh, wow. That's like the way to go, huh? That's nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Like that.
Yeah, she found you. All righty. Well, that is a wonderful story. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. We appreciate it, Carol. I want to go ahead and let our listeners know that you can come into this conversation if you have something to say about Our Lady of Guadalupe, like Carol did and Maria and Cindy. Please call in. Don't hesitate. If you feel the prompting of the Spirit, we believe it's a Holy Spirit. So call in right now, 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986 is the number to call if you know something about the tilma, the image on the tilma, details, St. Juan Diego. How about any of the newest movies or docudramas on Our Lady of Guadalupe? And as a matter of fact, I will send another film that came out earlier this year over to Michael to also post on Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. Michael's got a lot of work after the show to post some stuff, but it's important that we understand this feast day in a much deeper way because a lot happened. It impacted it impacted the world, but it impacted a whole country. You think about it, 3,000 conversions a day because Our Lady appeared to the Aztecs and beyond. I mean, pretty amazing. So please call in and tell us your relationship with Our Lady, what you know about today, what you know about the story, something you learned, 833-288-3986. That's 833-288-3986. I'm going to, you know what? I can say hello. Let me say hello to Michael. But Michael, I'm going to have to hold you through the break. So Michael from Dallas, Texas on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Michael. I don't want to keep you waiting any longer, but please, if you can hold through the break. So I just want to say hello.
All right, thanks.
Go right ahead. Do you want to get started? And you'll hear the music in just a few minutes.
Oh, okay. I had gotten a Facebook page that said that the stars on Mary's vestment represent the Pope, and they're all represented there except for Pope Francis. Now, the stars outside of the medal are the constellations when the image was produced. anybody heard anything on that?
Well, I'll tell you what I heard about that. That's very interesting. So hang on, Michael. Now you hear the music, and Michael will stay with us through the break. We got some important announcements. When we come back, I'd love to hear from you about Our Lady of Guadalupe, what you know. There's a lot of messages and information circulating about the Tilma. So let's really talk about it today, and let's build the understanding for our listeners at 833-288-3986.
This is Jerry Usher. If you missed part of today's show, catch the encore tonight at midnight Eastern or anytime at EWTN Podcast Central. Visit us at EWTN.com/radio/podcasts.
Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. He was making the assumption that we love ourselves. And love is expressed in actions, not just feelings. So, do you love yourself in action? I know, the demands of life make you feel selfish when you take a break from studying or working or taking care of the kids to get, quote, me time. But when you don't care for yourself, you're leaving your loved ones with the worst version of you, tired, haggard, burnt out. And if you're a parent, what's that communicate to your kids about their dignity and worth when they learn by example that self-care isn't important? So if not for your own sake, do it for those who love you. Spend time indulging yourself in things that inspire you so you can live an inspired life and be an inspiring person. Read a good book, eat a little sushi, take a walk, watch a movie, work out, take an extra long shower. You know what? You're worth it. God thinks so. This is Chris Stefanik from RealLifeCatholic.com on EWTN Radio.
As we continue the Advent season, checking in with Two Become Family.
And he talked about men needing to feel respect and having their competence and capabilities admired.
And more insights from Poco Opoco.
That's just beautiful, and I found great comfort in that because she's a protector, because she's my mother, because she loves me.
I'm HBK, inviting you to join me for Catholics Coast to Coast this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.
Hi, this is Janet Williams. We embrace the essence of feminine spirituality on Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Okay, we're talking about the Tilma today in St. Juan Diego on this wonderful feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe. We're speaking with Michael in Dallas, Texas. Michael, hold on one more second. I just wanted to give a big shout out and congratulations going out to two more EWTN radio partners, WSFI Sports Faith International in Chicagoland is celebrating 11 years with EWTN, and Oklahoma Catholic Broadcasting with 13 stations serving Oklahoma is celebrating 13 years with us. Congratulations to Angela Tomlinson and her team in Chicago, and Jeff Fennell and his team in Oklahoma from your friends here at EWTN. Way to go, guys. That is awesome broadcasting. Okay, so Michael, what I have heard, and you clipped out a little bit before the break, but what I have always heard is that the stars around Our Lady represent the constellation at that time in 1531. So I've heard that. Now you said something else about the popes. I've never heard that before. Say that again.
Okay, it's not the stars that surround Mother Mary. It's the stars on her garment that they've recently discovered represent the popes of the church. All the stars are there up to Pope Benedict. There's no star there for Pope Francis.
Wow, I've never heard that. That is so interesting. You know, and this is my point about the thing about the Tilma or any other apparitions. Over time, things are maybe discovered, or people look into things, and are they true? We don't know, you know, and that from that regard. But I will tell you, when you look at, but that's interesting though. I'm going to have to look that up after the show. But the interesting thing I think the most fascinating, there's two things I find that are so beyond, you know, you can't even describe it, is first of all, the image that's in her eyes, right? Which they say is, you know, probably when she revealed herself to Juan Diego and the bishop and everything, you could see the image in her eyes. I find that to be fascinating. And I find it to be so extraordinary that she came showing the Aztec people that she was pregnant. She was with child. I find that to be so extraordinary. Now, all the other elements, the scientific elements about, the fibers, that how come it didn't disintegrate and why are the colors not normal colors from paintbrushes and stuff like that. Okay, yes, those are all extraordinary details. But I just heard her connection to the Aztec people, I think, and how she came as one of their own, an indigenous peoples. She related so quickly, and she wanted to make sure she made that connection. I find that to be so, I can't describe it. It's so beyond comforting what she did for the people there, and because of it, all these conversions came forth. But that's interesting, Michael. I'm going to have to look it up after the show. And maybe check back on Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. I'll post before the end of the evening. And I'll you know what? I'll do a deep dive. I'll do a deep dive on the heartbeat thing, and I'll do a deep dive on the stars around her mantle there, or to see if there's a connection to the popes. What do you say, Michael?
It's with the stars on her garment.
On her garment. I'm sorry, on her garment.
Constellations that were visible at that time, the apparition. They're also saying that the images in the eyes are holographic.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, it really, I think out of all of the apparitions, it's the most talked about, and it's the most people are curious about it because it has so many unique elements that are so, it's so extraordinary. I mean, what else can you say about it? I mean, it's Our Lady. She definitely outdid herself when she came to the people at Tepeyac Hill. Thank you so much, Michael. Have a blessed rest of your Advent, and check back on Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. I want to see if I did a good deep dive there to figure out what's going on with some of the details of it. Let's get to Andy. Andy's from Tennessee on Sirius XM 130. Andy, welcome to the program.
Well, hello, Debbie. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling.
I have been in touch with you and Jerry about 3.5 years ago on your urgent prayer request line for my daughter whose water broke at 17 weeks. Mm-hmm. And since then, I've been sending you updates of our grandson. But this is all to say that Our Lady of Guadalupe is the patroness of unborn children, has just been such a blessing to us. About 5 years ago, when I was living in New Jersey, I had a farm helper on my horse farm who lived in Mexico and went home to visit family. And he brought back for me from Mexico City, from the shrine, a quite large statue of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which was my first exposure into her. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't know much about her at the time, but I put her in my prayer room, and we slowly got to know each other. And so 2 years later, when that event happened to my daughter and her water broke, the hospital did not consider the baby viable. And so she had to sit at home for 5 weeks before they would accept her if she made it that long. Well, she did, and she was hospitalized for 2 months after that, but Our Lady came with us to the hospital room. And she truly became just such a part of our daily life in that hospital for the 2 months that she was there, fighting for that baby as the baby was fighting as well. And it was such a beautiful thing because just her presence in the room, when people walked into the hospital room, they knew that talking about terminating that pregnancy was a non-starter for everyone in that room. And I think it also just created such peace in that room for us to have her image there, knowing that in that image she was also pregnant with child. Mm-hmm. And I think we just clung to her, the hope that she offered in saying yes to life, no matter the circumstances. And our faith was so deeply rewarded when, despite every doom and gloom prediction for the life of that baby or the fact that baby would die the minute he was born, it's incredible to me that 3 years later we have a child who is perfectly normal in every way. Mm-hmm. And we completely credit that to Our Lady and her prayers and her patronage throughout our daughter's pregnancy.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we love that you're sharing this because you are honoring Our Lady. For our new listeners, do you feel comfortable giving your grandson's first name?
Sure. His name is we call him Jack, but he's John Edward.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And he's doing well, and he's been taken care of by Our Lady. Your whole family has. And again, she is walking with you, journeying with you as you go through life. And that's what she wants to do with each and every one of us as her children. And when you share a story like this, a testimony like this, you're building confidence in our spiritual mother. Because people will say all the time, how do I fit her in? I don't know how to fit her into my spiritual life. Well, just listen to your story. Listen to Andy's story, okay? You got to listen and hear that she is definitely active, and she wants to walk with people to help them along the journey. What do you say to folks that are really struggling with Our Lady right now, Andy?
I would just say confidence and trust. Confidence and trust. Our Lord gave us Our Lady, and this image in particular, an image of a pregnant woman, no less.
Right.
To say yes to life and to trust in Him. Mm-hmm. If Our Lady, is the iconic image of trust in the Lord during pregnancies, and I really think that for us, you have to lean into her, and you just have to trust in the graces that the Lord mediates through her.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Amen to that. And now that he is 3, your grandson, you're probably just so looking forward to all the holidays, right, with him?
We are. And he is our joy. And we have a beautiful image in our parish of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And every Saturday there's adoration. So when I adore every Saturday, for 3 years, I go in and I light a votive candle just to say thank you to Our Lady for her continued patronage over our daughter and our grandson.
Yeah. Amen. Wow. Thank you. And thank you for letting us storm heaven during that very difficult time when you were going through that. We really appreciate it. And we are thanking God and thanking Our Lady for taking care of your family, and she does that so willingly, and we love her for that. And I love how you go back and honor her with a candle each time, and that's very important to do. We forget, not you, but people forget that sometimes. God shows Himself in so many ways to us, and we say thank you, and then we move on with life. But what you're doing is you're constantly reminding Our Lady and our God that you are very appreciative for the many blessings. That's beautiful. More blessings for you guys, though, during this Advent season. So thank you so much for calling in and sharing to this wonderful conversation about Our Lady of Guadalupe. I'm going to get to Sharon now from Alberta, Canada on EWTN. Sharon's been waiting so patiently. Sharon, what do you have to say about Our Lady?
Oh, well, I don't have anything to share particularly about the Tilma, but I have a question. I need some guidance.
Sure.
I've been participating in the 9-month novena with Cardinal Burke, and today is the consecration mass, and I'm located in Canada, so I can't be there in Wisconsin, but I know that he's doing the virtual mass that a person can attend. But he also suggested or recommended rather to for those that can't make it there in Wisconsin to go to your local church, which I did this morning, and I said the prayer of consecration that Cardinal Burke gave. So my question is, when a person misses a few prayer days, is that make it problematic when you're doing the consecration?
No.
And can I still go to the virtual mass that he is doing today and say the prayer again? or not?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say yes. Unless there's a bishop or a priest that's listening right now that disagrees with my recommendation. I mean, I'm just saying I was in religious education for over 25 years. I was director of religious education. So, no, you're fine. Just what your intention in your heart is what's really important, and you can hear it in your words that you want to attend this virtual mass and then the consecration. And I would definitely just go online when I believe it's coming up shortly, and he'll pray the prayer. You say it along with him. If you feel like you missed something, you can always go back. Nothing ever stops with our Lord. You know, here's something that you always want to remember with our Lord. He stands outside of time. Okay. And he knows what we go through in life. And so sometimes we'll show up and we'll do so many prayers. And other times maybe we forget or we fall asleep or something else happens. And he understands that. So you can always, I always have said this to people, especially attendees of my adult faith formation class. You can always go back. You can always redo. You can always start again. And if you miss something, don't feel like it's deficient. You pick up where you're at today and move forward. The Lord does not want us to be stuck. That's never what he's ever wanted for us. You know, that's why when Jesus said, I came for you to have life and to have it to the full. What does that mean? Well, everybody always thinks it means just abundance and excess and all sorts of money's going to rain on trees and stuff. No, that's not what it means. What it means is he wants us not to feel these feelings of that we feel unworthy and, you know, we're not going to make it and we're not good enough and all these things. He doesn't want us to feel that way. He wants us to feel confident. So if it were me and based on what you're saying, I would go to that virtual mass online, do the consecration. If you can't make the virtual mass, pick up one of the masses on Catholic radio or television. If you can't make it to mass, or just say the consecration, just pray the consecration and be at peace with that. What do you say, Mary?
Maybe I can just add a quick clarification. It's Sharon again. I did go to my own Mass this morning, and I did say the prayer, but I wanted to see Cardinal Burke today, and because I have never done this before in my life, not to this degree. I've never participated in a novena for 9 months. This has been a real journey for me.
Yeah, a spiritual game changer. And I'm so sorry. Mary's right after you. I'm so sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Sharon, yes, it's a big deal. This 9-month novena that we've been praying every day. Yes. But again, if you can get online, I'm sure, and even if you can't make it while it's in real time, it'll be there still online. I would definitely do what you can to be part of when he prays that consecration. And for others that are listening, if you can't get there or you can't watch it or whatever, make sure you pick up that consecration and pray that consecration. It's very important. It's your intention. It's your intention with Our Lady. And that's the key. And that's what I think I wanted to stress. So I wouldn't get so incredibly caught up in, not you are, but people can get caught up in the requirements of certain things in order for it to be fulfilled. It's your intention of your heart. If you want to be consecrated to Our Lady, my opinion is she'll accept you because that's you're giving of your heart. Okay. Does that help, Sharon?
Yes, it does. And thank you so much for all of your help today.
Oh, thank you. And I agree with you. The 9-month novena, that was a huge spiritual game changer. So thank you for calling in today. You helped others. I just wanted to I felt so bad because I started to say Mary after Sharon, and Mary must have dropped off thinking that I wasn't going to get to her. So Mary, if you can call back from Dallas, Texas on Guadalupe Radio Network, Mary, please, I'll push you to the front of the line. I promise. I feel so bad. I was getting I was getting so excited about the consecration. I totally just went to you, and I should have stayed with Sharon. So please forgive me on that one. But let's, in the meantime, if Mary can call back, we'll get you on air with us. If anyone else has something to say about the Tilma, consecrations, the novena, the anything of the details of St. Juan Diego, please call in at 833-288-3986. And let's get, in the meantime, to Tina. Tina's from Northeast Ohio on Alexa. Hi, Tina. Welcome.
Hi. Yes, I had the great fortune of going to Guadalupe this past May with a group called Hope's Garden. It's an online women's ministry, a Catholic women's ministry. We went with a lady whose name is Maria with Guadalupe 500. She hosted and gave us a lot of education. And so first of all, I want to say that the question regarding the heartbeat that is not accurate. That has not been discovered. But there's a lot of other miraculous things associated with the Tilma.
Right. That's what I thought. But have you heard that they felt that it's somewhat alive? It has a depth of life to it.
Well, what I am aware of is that, well, first of all, the Tilma itself being cactus fibers that should have deteriorated within about 20 years, that it is still very much vibrant and the image itself is of some substance that scientists have studied it. They do not have any explanation for what it is. It is not anything that is known to mankind, basically, what the colors and what the substance is that is on the Tilma.
Right.
But what I was going to mention about is there's the history and the image itself and the impact it had on the Aztec society, if you would like to hear a little bit about that.
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, so as you may know, and many may know, the Aztec society was around for hundreds of years, and it was a very complex and very involved society. I mean, they were structured, and they'd been there a long time, and they were very functional. And but unfortunately and sadly, main part of their life was human sacrifice. Thousands of human sacrifices a day. They had people believed that they had to sacrifice to the sun god and the moon god and the rain for all, just to sustain their lives, and so they willingly and sometimes unwillingly sacrificed for that. Well, when
very pagan worship. Go ahead.
Yes, very sad. When Our Lady came, that image particularly spoke to the Aztec people, which is why ultimately over 9 million of them in a very brief period of time converted from, their society changed and they converted to Catholicism. Just amazing that something like that could happen by virtue of an image. But the image spoke to them because there were a lot of things represented in that image that spoke to them. The first one was, of course, that she is standing before the sun. That means that she is greater than the sun god. She's standing on the moon. She's greater than the god of the moon. She is with child because that black little sash around her waist indicates that she is pregnant. But her hair is parted. You can see her hair, and it's parted and worn in such a way that indicates that she is a virgin. And there are, as was spoken of before, there are a lot of other images in reference to the Tilma, the colors that were on there. The color of her mantle indicates that she is royalty. But that her head is slightly bowed indicates that she is not herself God. There is some being greater than her.
Right, in a sense of humility, yes.
Yes, exactly. So all of these things spoke to the Aztec people. And so it was, by virtue of Juan Diego and the Catholic Church that was existing in the area, and the miraculous nature of it, and miracles that surrounded it as well. Juan Diego, as you probably heard, he tried to avoid her the day he was supposed to meet her because his uncle was dying. And so he was trying to avoid her, but she stopped him. She appeared to him anyway, stopped him, and assured him that his uncle was all right. At the same time, she was appearing to his uncle, who was some distance away, and he was miraculously healed.
Mm-hmm. And that's when she said to Juan Diego about, "Aren't I your mother?" You know, and that
yes.
and that phrase is over the churches.
Arm.
Yes. Wow, you really do know your details of this amazing story at Tepeyac Hill. I love that. I thank you so very much for weighing in on this and helping us to shape this conversation in a beautiful way for Our Lady. Tina, thank you so very much. Blessings to you and the rest of Advent. I'm going to let you go on that because Mary has called back from Dallas, Texas, and I want to squeeze her in because I felt so bad that I said hello and then you dropped off. Hi, Mary. Welcome back.
Oh, welcome. I was so glad it was a God thing because Tina needed to say those things right before I talked because I was a catechist, and you know how you have short time on catechist time. Well, I was teaching fourth grade for the first time last year. Before that, I just did 3-year-olds, and it's very basic what you do with them.
Speed check reported ahead on I-20 East.
And so what happened was I took the kids to the chapel for the first time, and they didn't know who Our Lady of Guadalupe was. And I was kind of surprised because most of them are from a Hispanic background. They did not know the story of her. So I said, I'm going to have a lesson on her. And I am a real teacher by trade. So I decided to show the cartoon version. But before I did that, I said, there's all this background that the kids don't know. They don't know who the Spaniards are. They don't know where they're from. They don't know the Aztecs. They don't know what a Tilma is. They didn't know about all the different gods that the Aztecs followed and how the Spaniards followed one true God. They didn't know all of that. So I did what they call a T chart. And I printed all these sentences out and pictures out, and we put one side Spaniards, one side Aztecs. So they would know Spaniards wore helmets and had uniforms, and then the Aztecs had a tilma and what the role of the tilma was, because they weren't going to understand any of it if they didn't have this vocabulary.
Right.
So we watched, and then they found out who she was, and then a few weeks later, I did another lesson about the symbols of what's in on Our Lady of Guadalupe. And I'm just thinking to myself, I sure hope they remember this lesson.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Yeah, but that was beautifully done, what you did, because you were inspired by the Spirit to give them context, to have them understand the background, just like Tina was sharing. You know, we have to understand the pagan rituals and everything, and why she came with such great extreme detail to relate to the people, and which ended up causing tremendous conversions. You're spot on, Mary. Way to go. And thank you to the whole Take Two family. You guys all showed up in perfect timing, and I'm just so sorry I couldn't get to Janet and the others. Please forgive me. Tomorrow is our All About Relationships show, and you can talk about your relationship with Our Lady again tomorrow, Janet, if you want to call back, because it's all about relationships. We talk every single relationship we have. So thank you so much to the Take Two family. Thank you to Michael, to Rich, to Matt. Our show team is amazing, and all the affiliates that carry this program live. God bless you for doing that. You're doing a great work for your audience. And like I said, if you have a relationship you want to bring to the table for tomorrow's discussion, well, you got to wait till tomorrow. But stay tuned in, because Dr. Ray is up next, and you don't want to miss his program because he talks about relationships. Until then, have a beautiful and blessed day. See you real soon.
Now, here comes a thought from Mother Angelica's perpetual calendar. The world and everyone in it can lead us to great holiness of life if we will.